We have an explosive Find Your Frequency for you here on the Daily News Network. Almon Gunter joins me. Hey, Almon, how are you?
Come on, Brian. So good to see you. So
athlete,
good.
trainer, speaker, author, mentor. What you got going on?
Listen, man, all of the above, right?
All
of the above. I actually have a new book that's going to be hitting the market
in
a
right?
month. Book number 6.
Okay.
And this one is a doozy because this one is about mental toughness. And the title is Mind Over Matter, Unlocking the Power of Mental Toughness. You know me as, I work with tons of athletes, right? From middle school to professional athletes, and I train all sports. So that's pretty unique in itself.
Yeah.
What I like to say is I build athletes who happen to play a particular sport. But at the end of the day, it's between your ears.
Right.
That's where the rubber kind of meets the road. And on top of that, I'm still, speaking all over the place. I have a buddy of mine who just bought 200 acres up in Virginia.
Nice.
So we now do executive leadership retreats where companies come up. We got, the zip line, the rock wall. We got all these things. And we're using my curriculum to kind of bring it all to life. My book's on teamwork, my book's on leadership. So that's fun because, you're in a remote place,
right? And
you're there to learn and you're there to grow. And so we're pretty excited about that.
How did you find time to sit still for me?
Well, listen, man, you called, I answered.
And I greatly appreciate it. The mental toughness thing. I think people should know your story. You're from Baldwin.
Yeah. I grew up in Baldwin. Matter of fact, graduated from there in 1981. And my high school didn't have a track.
Which is amazing because you were the 13th fastest person in the world.
Yeah, for 200 meters.
Yeah.
So I grew up running around the softball field, which, is the block is a square. So how do you practice, handoffs for the 4x1 and things like that. But we made it work. We ran. I was a big time football, basketball, and really track was kind of just a thing that I did.
Because you were good at it.
Until my mother said, you can't play college football. You got to pick another sport. Yeah. And I was really nerdy, never missed a day of school. So, 3.9 GPA.
Yeah. Six books later.
Yeah. So I tried, I went and did a little track and field. And next thing you know, 28, 29 years old, I was able to lay down some pretty good numbers and run for Nike. And
can we dive into the mental toughness side?
Oh, yeah.
Did you learn that on your own running around the softball field, or did you have somebody who dialed you into that?
Listen, I had a whole village. Like my grandfather was born in 1906. Wow. We had this little farm and Papa was like, hey, listen, if you feed a cow on Friday, guess what? He's hungry again on Saturday. Yeah. So you learned that you couldn't outwork the work. And so what I learned from that was a lot of teamwork, but also success is just for the moment. Once you hit it, now it's what's next. And for me, it was like, I was, I'm a thermostat. I get to decide what I want to be set on. And so I had great parents who kind of pushed me to just go for it and take risks. But the mental toughness that's how you win. Like, because the sport is the sport, right? Like the skill is the skill, no matter what it is you're trying to do. If you go to school to be a doctor, you get the same information. What makes one doctor greater than the other is the mental side. It's how they choose to, be mentally tough and suffer. I call it, you got to be able to suffer. Most successful people,
it's part of life.
They know how to suffer really well. And I think ultimately the level of your success is going to be directly related to how much you're able to suffer and come out the other side.
I would imagine you've seen that in a lot of the professional athletes that you work with, especially.
No doubt about it. Well, being from here, Derrick Henry is the one that everyone knows.
Oh, yeah.
And you watch his workouts now.
Running up a hill.
Yeah. And people are like, oh my God, but he was doing that at Yuley. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, guys, he's been trained to do that. He's a winner. He knows what it takes. And, Vince Lombardi said, hey, winning is a habit, but unfortunately, so is losing. Yeah. And so a lot of it just boils down to, how bad do you want it?
As you look at the world today, let's think about high school kids, right?
Yep.
People that you have obviously helped in your career. Social media and just the distractions. Listen, I didn't even mean to open that can of worms.
Yeah.
But you get what I'm saying. They're constantly distracted.
Mm-hmm.
How do you help young athletes find their focus?
For me, it's pretty simple. I say, look, you hit what you focus on, right? Okay. Matter of fact, my first book is Focus to Win. And it's about, at the end of the day, whatever you set your sights on and really put in a lot of reps, that's what you're going to ultimately hit. So when I train my athletes, this is what's so funny that you brought that up. A lot of my athletes, I've been doing this 27 years, right? And they would go, hey, coach, why don't you ever play music? I go, for what? I am the music. I need you to hear me. So what happens is when my athletes compete, All they hear is me in their ear. No matter how much the music's going, no matter how much the crowd's going, because we rehearsed it over and over again. And that's part of it. It's like my business partner and I, we have an idea for a new book that's
number 7.
But yeah.
6 hasn't even come out yet. You got 7 ready to
go.
Yeah,
we got 7, and it's going to be noise reduction. That's the name of it, noise reduction. It's going to be something. Oh yeah, I set my thermostat.
Hot.
See, most people, they're at the thermometer. So whatever is going on, that's where they are.
Right.
If it's hot, they're hot. It's cold, it's cold.
You're the thermostat.
No, I'm the thermostat. Like I get to decide where this is going. So when I look at kids today, a lot of them feel like they're behind, and they feel like they're behind because of social media.
Yep.
And I'm like, come on, not real.
Noise reduction, right?
So we do a lot of noise reduction.
Tell me about the nonprofit, because you were smiling big when you walked in the door to talk about it.
Listen, I'm going to tell you, the nonprofit that we created is called the Academy of Mentoring, and I've been speaking a lot at universities. And what I realized was, a lot of the college kids have a lot of anxiety, especially when they get to the junior, senior year. Now they've got to go into the real world and this whole adulting thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
And what I realized was, it's like, whoa, because they don't have mentors. I started asking the question, how many of you have mentors? Well, none of them. And what I realized is most people don't mentor because they don't know how. So my book number 4 was Mentoring from Leadership to Legacy, because I want to live forever. The only way you live forever is you got to give back. You got to be a servant leader. So this Academy of Mentoring is about, we're going to connect 18 to 30-year-olds with people who've been there, done it, like yourself. You said it yourself, hey, look, 31 years with the Jaguars, kind of figuring out what's next. There's a lot of people like that. Well, what's next is, why don't we help a kid? So imagine a kid who wants to be in the broadcasting, right? You have a lot to offer.
I think you've hooked me.
Yeah,
I think
I got you. And what's so beautiful, it doesn't cost you anything.
No.
We basically, if you go to my website, we have a tab, you click on it. If you want to be a mentee, you fill out a form. If you want to be a mentor, you fill out a form. And then we hook you up. And it's a 6-month commitment. Yeah. Well, and the mentee has to drive the information. It's your job. You want to learn, right? Yeah. And the beautiful part is we have the mentoring book. It teaches you exactly how to do it. It tells you the difference between coaching and mentoring, because it's 2 different things.
So what's the website if people are interested in this?
You go to almongunterexperience.com.
almongunterexperience.com. We'll put that in the show notes.
And you just click on a tab that says TAM, T-A-M, the Academy of Mentoring. And it's all there. It gives you great statistics about, the success rate of people who have mentors versus people who don't. For me, I am where I am because of my mentors. I can truly tell you, I still have them. I have mentees. I'm constantly mentoring. Hanging out with these kids keep me sharp, because I got to stay ahead of them. You know how that is, right?
I do.
So I have to stay ahead of them. So we're just excited, man. We have a lot going on, but this academy is my new baby, and everyone can get involved. Like I said, all it costs you is your time.
And we all have some of that to give.
We got a little bit of that to give, especially
to the big time. And you're taking people with you, which is what I love.
That's leadership.
So how about a couple of questions here from me?
Yeah.
Right? Find your frequency. Yeah. Everybody has a life-defining experience. Most people have more than one. Share one with us.
My life-defining, I actually have 2. One, my sophomore year in college, I was competing in Birmingham, Alabama, indoor track meet, and I tore my hamstring. Yeah. And I mean, it snapped, like you heard it. And they told me I'd never be able to run again. And I'm like, yeah, okay, good luck with that one.
Right.
And all I did was come back to be one of the best in the world. The other one was, in the midst of writing my first book, Focus to Win, I was having dinner in Savannah and I almost died eating steak. I choked and was literally going to the light. And that's when I came up with Every Day is Game Day. All we have is right now. It's like, what are you doing now? We can make all these wonderful plans, and that sounds great. But what are we doing today? Who are we helping today? My mother said, look, some of the bridges you build are not for you to cross, but you got to build them anyway. So for me, every day is about, how do we build bridges? How do we help people be better? My company is all about, how do we help people maximize their potential?
Clearly you were doing
How do we do it?
Obstacles, you've had more than your share. I can be sure. Can you share one, though, when you got to the other side of that mountain, you said, nothing will stop me?
Yeah, I think the biggest obstacle was, when I initially started, I just wanted to save the world, one of those things. And then once I realized that not everybody wants to win, and that's okay. Not everybody wants to be a champion. And when I was able to really be okay with that, that's when things really took off. Because, it's like, I'm the thermostat. I'm just going to be me. I'm here to give information. And life's about information and decision making. You know that.
I totally do.
I mean, ultimately, that's, the life you live is because of the decisions you make.
Final thought. You meet a 16-year-old kid on the street and he asks for one piece of advice. What do you tell him?
My advice would be slow down to go fast.
Explain.
Because, being a world-class sprinter, people are like, how do you run so fast? Because I do everything else really slow. Because it's about repetition. My grandfather used to say, look, just do things right. Because if you can do them right, you can ultimately speed up. But if you just constantly going, the noise, right? The noise reduction, you never get good at anything. It's like watching kids who play like travel sports. It drives me nuts because it's like, when do you practice?
Yeah, they don't.
You got to practice. So what I would say is slow down to go fast. Yeah.
Almon Gunter.
Yeah.
The website again?
AlmonGunterExperience.com.
And TAM tab.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. TAM. I mean, listen, please go click on the tab, sign up to be a mentor, sign up to be a mentee. Because look, it takes a village.
I'm going there. I appreciate you. And I hope you'll come back.
Oh, come on, man.
Almon
Anytime.
Gunter,
Anytime.
Baldwin's finest. And we appreciate you joining us here on Finding Your Frequency. We'll see you next time here on the Daily News Network.